2020 sucked. Come on. Let's be honest about this. I don't feel bad about saying it. And you shouldn't feel bad about saying that either. Don't let anybody let you feel bad about how you felt about this year. It sucked for a lot of us. Doesn't mean we can't turn it around, though. Not with rose-colored glasses either. Hey, it's Bill Adams, the Cool Dad Rules. Thanks for being here, as always. This is a little different. You know how we do it usually here, and what we've turned this project, this podcast into, is not so much a parenting show. Well, it is, but it's more like a life skills show. The situational problems that our kids encounter, we all come up together with solutions, and I share what little I know, because there are no parenting experts, what little I know about life skills we can apply to the situation, right? That way we've done our jobs as parents, and in the process have probably made excellent human beings. This week of Thanksgiving, when we should all really give thanks in the year 2020, is a little bit different because throughout the year, I've collected a bunch of different comments from thecooldadrules.com. There's that feedback section where we get all this from. And I've collected a bunch of different comments of things just about the year, just about how things are going here. And I always want to collect your comments on that. I've gotten great suggestions, guest contacts, topics, all that great stuff. But these are a lot of the things that have come in randomly throughout the year. And I just want to give you a few, and trust, there are dozens of comments like this that I've received. Here's one. Can't seem to feel good about anything about this year, and I don't see anything getting better. I'm leaving names off of here. Whew. How can I teach my kids a life skill to survive 2020 when I don't know how myself? Whoa. Here's another one. Trying to tell my kids to be thankful this time of year. I don't really know how, and I want to be honest with them. Okay, first of all, and I've contacted all these people, dozens of them. Those are just a few, because a lot of them might need some extra, help. Maybe some therapy help, and I know some good ones that they can actually help with. But I wanted to give you that as an example, and I think it stands to reason why a lot of this has to be addressed this year. And I've gotten a lot of these comments come in, filtered in with all the other, parenting topic things, all the other things that we've actually talked about. And I wanted to dedicate this to us just as parents and this year and how we can actually approach it. And here's how I think we should approach it. With things to be actual, real things we should be grateful for. And all of this came from a guy that's a lot smarter than me, one of my personal coaches that I absolutely love. And he gave me an example on how to frame things and how to filter things and put it into perspective. And he said, it's like a cornerback in the NFL. And I said, what? He said, a cornerback, not a quarterback, a cornerback. The position on the field that's probably the most responsible on defense, because often, depending on the coverage, you're left alone on an island. And if the receiver burns you for a deep touchdown or you fall down or something happens, there's really nobody else to blame. It's a team sport, and there's 11 people on the field at a time on your team, but there's nobody else to blame if it was all you. And what he said to me was, cornerbacks have developed a mindset where they have the shortest memories in all of professional sports, in his opinion. Where that deep touchdown they got burned on, the really good ones will tell you, it's one play. He's not going to do that again. I'll get him the rest of the game. One play. It's no big deal. Even if it's happened like 5 times in the game, it's one play. It's nothing. And they forget about it so quickly, which is amazing. And the way I frame this and how I talk about it with the Cool Dad rules is maximizing your wins and minimizing your losses. The losses are no big deal, but the wins are huge. Even if it's a little tiny thing, right? Oh, that was awesome. I had a great day. It was great. Biggest day. Greatest day ever. But lost a job, which normally would be a big thing. Here's how you frame it. Let's get another one. No big deal. No big thing. It's that cornerback mindset, right? Maximizing wins and minimizing losses. And I think that's what we have to do with 2020. I really do. Here are some real things. No bullshit. These are real things that we could be grateful for this time of the year, for Thanksgiving. Thankful for. And I don't mean like the smell of fresh flowers. Fresh baked cookies. Throw that out the window. I don't have time for it. You don't either. Forget about that stuff. Let's start with the real stuff. First of all, this freaking year isn't even over yet, okay? Time dilation in 2020 or in any other year is a real deal. The perception of time does slow down in a struggle. You want an example of that? How much changed from February to March of 2020? A lot of changes, massive changes worldwide and in the U.S. particularly, especially in the big cities in the U.S., right? You don't think a lot can change from now, Thanksgiving and post-Thanksgiving week, to the end of the year until we hit January 1st? Of course it can. In your personal life and nationally and internationally as well. A lot can change. Here's another one. Hasn't this given you a chance, it's given me a big chance to prioritize what you really want to do or what's important anymore? Or the early part of like lockdowns and, remember this one, 15 days to slow the curve or whatever the hell they were talking about back then. You start to prioritize really what's important and what's not. Like silly things I would worry about before. I don't worry about so much anymore, do you? There's a lot of worries. There's a lot more worry about the future, but dumb things, little things not to worry about anymore. I can tell you personally as a parent, and I've said this 1,000,000 times, 1.5 million times, I have 2 teenage girls. There's a lot of stuff that I'll kind of let go by the wayside that I've learned I should have been letting go by the wayside the whole time. Things like that. How about this? Have you found out really who your friends are? Really who you've stayed in touch with throughout all this? Because it's more of a challenge to stay in touch with people when you don't see them every single day maybe, or you're thrown out of your routine somehow, some way, or you don't see your work friends or, associates. I'm really thankful for that. I really am. It sounds like kind of a cold-hearted thing. I'm actually really grateful that I found out who's true, who's real, and who's not. I'm really grateful for that because those are the people I'm going to prioritize going for the future. Those are the ones that really matter to me. How about this? It's been a whole other thing where I've gotten a ton of comments again on and a lot of suggestions to talk about. Are you grateful with all the time you spent with the kids during the pandemic? And I know I can hear you. I can hear it right now. Your head is spinning and going, yeah, a little bit too much time. All of this time with the kids driving me crazy. All right, I get it. But I will guarantee you, I'll bet you a shiny new dime right now we're going to look back at this and you're going to say, you know what? It didn't seem like it at the time. But all that extra time we spent with the kids during that pandemic, if it was a lockdown or not, it was actually pretty special. I was frustrated too. I get it. I totally get it. But I'm already starting to realize it was a pretty special time, and I'm very thankful for it. How about this? Let's be thankful for the technology we've learned. Are you more technologically savvy than you were this time last year? I bet you are. I absolutely bet you are. It's become so quickly a daily habit. How many of you work from home now and are on a Zoom call that you totally understand it's like second nature, or have been able to figure out different programs, different means of working from home, different things? Maybe you never used Excel before. You never really had to, but now you do. Or maybe you're FaceTiming, you never did before, and that's second nature as well. How many times have kids in your life, especially teenage kids, taught you something that you didn't know how to do? Probably programs or apps in your personal computer or phone you didn't even know you had, and now it's like normal and you're not intimidated by it anymore. I've had a ton. You're looking at it right now. Whole blog site developed from this whole thing. I'm grateful for that. Here's another one. I hear from a ton of people in my personal life and through this project too, of people that are looking at a different career path, which can be scary. One of the most stressful and scary things you can go through in life. I've done it. Have you looked at different things you want to do or don't want to do when it comes to a career? You're sent to the home office by no choice of your own, which may be good. And you start to look around, you start to think, oh my God, I can't go back to that cubicle. I can't do it. I don't want to go back to this line of work anymore. And this has made me realize getting out of the grind in an emergency kind of way make me think maybe I'm capable of something else. Maybe it goes back to that technology you learned. Maybe I'm capable of something. Proof of this, online college classes and signups for adults like us have skyrocketed. Life coaching courses are selling out across the country now. People are learning different skills and doing different things for a change of career, and that's scary in the meantime, and it may actually shift the entire global economy. Not a bad thing in the end, right? Maybe you'll find what your actual purpose is throughout this whole thing. I have. I will tell you that. How about this? Freedom of speech. Watch, this is where I'll get canceled. This is where cancel culture comes after me. There's been a lot of online censorship. So much, you may not agree with me, but I will point to this. It's resulted in 2 congressional hearings this year about online tech censorship and who's allowed to say what and how you're allowed to say it. I'm grateful for this and this issue popping up, allowing me to take a look at what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. Online, at work, and in person too. I will tell you personally, my own personal opinion, it's made me value more than I ever realized during this pandemic the right to say what I want to say, no matter who it offends. I'm going to leave it at that. Here's another one. How about just freedom? Also, maybe where I get canceled. How about appreciating your freedom when you're told by a government, maybe a business, and maybe just your family that you can't do something you wanted to do before? Maybe rightfully so, but you took it for granted before. Thankful more than ever for my freedom. I hope you are too. I will never, is another one I'm thankful for, I will never, ever, ever take another holiday for granted. Never. Whether it's Valentine's Day, St. Patty's Day, Thanksgiving like this, Christmas, New Year's, whatever it is, I'll never take it for granted again because there's so many changes that have come. So that's why I think this Thanksgiving and this upcoming Christmas and New Year's, all of them, are going to have special meaning and special importance, even if you can't celebrate with all the ones you love. Be willing to bet you're going to appreciate it more like I will. And finally, here's something real to be thankful for me. This is a selfish one. I'm thankful for you. And I'm thankful to be able to do this project with you. Wait a minute. That sounds like self-promotion. But I am. And I don't think I'd put this kind of work into it unless we were in a pandemic and I actually had both the time, I'd say, and probably the concentration of resources to be able to do it and to reach out this way. There's a lot to be thankful for. A lot. So this one's a little bit different. Real things we can be thankful for in this time of thanks for Thanksgiving. Let's keep this attitude going forward. I think it's going to be important. Back to more normal? You want to call it that way? Cool Dad Rules episodes coming up next. And again, this is all in the future going to be based on your input. Let's make it interactive here. You go to thecooldadrules.com. There is a comment section and an input section where you can interact. Write to me there, things you like, things you don't like, guests you want to hear from, or not. We may not go with any guests. Maybe it's just you and me. Maybe we'll just answer questions. Maybe we'll share along. Maybe let's make it a community and get these life skills to kids to make our jobs a lot easier and make us better parents, right? It's all there. Be thankful. There's a lot to be thankful for. I'll say it again. I feel bad if you thought 2020 sucked. We can turn it around. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you soon.